What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Stay Faithful Podcast, Niners Coast to Coast edition. Joining me, as always, is my good buddy, Mr. David McNiner. What's going on, Dave?
All just another Monday,
Yep.
but we got some action coming up.
We fi- we
Camp. And
fi-
I'm not talking about band camp, folks.
Nope.
I'm talking football camp.
That one time at band camp, yes, indeed, you are correct. We are one sleep away from seeing the fellas finally back on the field. And albeit it's just the practice field, they'll be back together practicing for the ultimate goal. And we got to be excited about that. No more of this off-season speculation stuff. We get to actually talk about them on the football field. And that's exciting stuff. I love camp personally. I love the whole camp and preseason process of getting these guys in tune and in shape and ready for the season. So I'm very excited about it. How about you?
I'm incredibly excited about it. We got the camp battles we're going to be watching, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a few position groups I'm very interested in. Actually about four position groups I'm very interested in. Honestly, not just a few. You know, um, QB is not an issue this year.
You know what? I was just going to start off about that. Say, hey, let's talk about the positions we're interested in. And oddly enough, for the first time and seems like forever, we don't have to talk about the quarterback position this year. Like we can focus on other positions on the field. Now, not having to talk about the quarterback is like the greatest relief ever, right? Like finally, no QB drama.
It's about time. How many years have we gone through this? What,
Yeah,
2021 is when it all started,
yeah.
right?
It's really near the end of 2020 when people were questioning, did we make the correct decision in Jimmy G? Because he's always injured, it seems, and is he reliable? What are we gonna do? So,
And then
yeah.
2021, the draft,
Then the
we
draft,
trade
yeah,
up,
we trade
we
up. Yep.
take Trey Lance,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone's like, oh, then the whole he should start just right off the bat. He should start. Like, let's
Yep.
not start James. I'm not the coach. I don't make those decisions. You know, I knew the kid was raw. He
Yeah.
needs development, needs some playing time. And I don't know. I heard a rumor that he's not happy with the Cowboys either. But at the same time, their starting QB is entering his last season under contract. So that
Yep.
could
He wants an
be a
extension. Yeah.
situation for him, right?
Yeah. You never know. But don't want to revisit the past. We're here to talk about now. So,
That's
you
right.
said you're interested in a few position groups. I am as well. For right now, give me your top position battle, your top position group that you are intrigued to see battle it out.
Offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have Hubbard,
Yep.
Parker. I kind of feel like Parker has a lot of a starting experience. The other tackle we signed,
Yep.
the veteran. Hubbard's been around the league a long time. You
Mm-hmm.
know, then we got the rookie Pooney. He's
Yep.
joining the fray. Jake Brindle's having. I don't know. We're about to find out if he'll be in camp, right?
Yeah. We'll find out tomorrow. We know that John
He
and
hasn't
Kyle
been
are
put on
scheduled to
a
talk.
he hasn't
So
been put on any sort of injury
no,
list or anything like that.
but
So
but they did announce that he has an injury. He's dealing with something, right? So
yes,
how severe is it? Will he be practicing? We don't know. So tomorrow is going to be an intriguing day just to see who's actually out there on the field practicing for one and what they may or may not be dealing with.
yes, that's for sure. I especially want to see where are they putting Pooney at.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep.
is he
Me as
going to
well.
be at guard? Is he going to be at tackle?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
This is something I'm very interested to see. You know, why did they actually draft him to play tackle
Yeah.
or guard?
Yep.
Right? Because according to scouts, his arms are like 1 inch too short. It's not like he's got
Yeah.
T Rex arms, folks. But
Yeah. But that's the weird thing about these athletes, you get some weird measurement like, oh, his arms are 1 inch short for a typical tackle, but he's good for a guard. It was like, well, if he can move his feet and get in front of people and block, I'm sure he can overcome that 1 inch size difference. Yeah, that this weird measurement comes from. It's like, can he keep the defensive end? I know I should have paused on that one. Can he keep the defensive end from getting to the quarterback? That's all I need to know. I don't care about any of the other measurables. That's the most important thing. But I'm with you. Offensive line is definitely something to watch, especially when we have all these incumbents still there. It's the same starting O line from last season, but we got a lot of intriguing new pieces, and we all want to see, will they be an upgrade over what's there now? Because that's what we all want, right? We all want to get better. We all just want the best, 5 offensive linemen on the field. So I'm looking to see who are they going to be, and everybody's excited about Pooney, and I'm with you there. Where's he going to line up? And we know they like to tinker during camp and move guys around.
yes.
So that's one of the things I'm going to be looking for. Are they going to position these guys from day to day, and how it all works out?
Kenny in the chat says Forrester says the only place he will not play is center,
Yep.
and I could see them trying him all over the
Mm-hmm.
offensive line.
Yeah.
But the left side's set. We got Trent
And
Williams and
that's the
Aaron
thing.
Banks,
Yeah. We know the left side is
so
set.
it's gonna.
There's no going over there. So he's not
Mm,
playing center. So we all predicted, it's either right guard or right tackle. So I can see him from day to day. One day he's at guard, the next day he's at tackle. We'll see how that works out.
or maybe they'll play him for a couple days at one position and then
Exactly. Yep.
right. I mean, we'll
Yep.
just see how it all plays out. When does camp fire up? It's tomorrow, ain't
Mm-hmm.
it?
Yeah. Yeah. It starts tomorrow. Like I said, we're one sleep away. And then camp, everyone reports.
Yeah. Then all the news starts trickling in about how this guy's not looking good. Well, at least
Mm-hmm.
that's what one fellow says. Then
Yeah.
another news reporter says, "No, this guy's looking good," and it's the same guy.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yep.
okay, you
Exactly.
know, there's only a couple people's opinions that actually matter when it comes to that, and that's the guys making the decision on the 53,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
So, but yeah, I mean, you never know. Like Hubbard, I honestly think we signed him to be the swing tackle. This could be us saying goodbye to what was it, Jalen Moore,
Yeah.
right? And it could just be time, right? We got McKivitz
Yeah.
under
Yeah.
contract for 2 years,
Yep.
right?
He's not going
Um,
anywhere.
and he's getting paid swing tackle money.
He is.
So that's the kind
So
of things that makes things interesting on the right side there.
exactly. And if someone beats him out, at least we know we have a guy with experience that we're not paying a ton of money to, that he can be that swing tackle. And I'm fine with that. If that is what plays out, I'd be okay with that.
Also, what position group are you most interested in?
Well, aside from that, I'm actually interested on the flip side of that, which is the defensive line and how we've retooled that. And I want to see how that plays out. Because Chris Kasarik, we know all the magic that he works when he gets new defensive linemen, especially some guys that have had experience in the league for a few years. So that's exactly what he got. and Malik Collins, Jordan Elliott, Gross Matos, and of course Leonard Floyd. And I was thinking specifically about Floyd and how we know he's just the model of consistency, right? He's going to play 17 games a season and he's going to get you 10 sacks a season. That's just what he does. But
Mhm.
we know when free agents come to the 49ers how they seem to take it up a notch and they seem to do even better than where they were before. So I'm thinking of Leonard Floyd. I'm like, okay, so that 10 sacks that he normally gets could easily be 15 sacks this season, right?
Yeah.
And if he can give us like that, opposite of Bosa, and we know Nick Bosa is going to be Nick Bosa. That's going to be huge, huge for this defense. But aside from that, it's how the pieces of the guys I mentioned, Jordan Elliott, Malik Collins, Gross Matos, how they fit within the defensive line, what their rotation is going to be, and to see them battle against the offensive line, and who's iron sharpens iron, who's going to get the better of whom. So I'm really interested to just look at that entire dynamic, what's going on in the trenches.
Well, when it comes down to it, I honestly believe that our D line has the advantage. Yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
reading Rob D's comment about Burford Wi-Fi connection. That's funny.
Yeah.
Um,
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Rob D, Kenny's hilarious. Raphael 562 is out there. Thanks you guys for joining us.
but I'm also interested to see how it all works out. Who's going to be starting between Hargrave and Floyd? Right?
Yeah,
Is it going to be Malik Collins? Is it going to be Elliott? You
exactly.
know,
Is it
you
is,
have
is
to give
Gross
the youngster.
Matos going
What
to
if
start?
Coley had? Yeah.
Yeah, is Gross
Oh
Matos
my.
going to start on the outside, then use Floyd just specifically as a pass rusher, right? Things like that. And then how does
Yeah.
a Robert Beal Jr. fit into the mix? Because this could be the year where he takes a huge step forward, right?
That's true. And right now, between Bosa and Floyd, I honestly believe it's concrete that they're the starters.
Mm-hmm.
Floyd sets the edge very well.
He
He's a
does.
big linebacker kind of. He does set the
Yeah,
edge very well. Um, and he's consistent, like 9, 10 sacks a season.
exactly.
Hasn't missed a game. A lot of people said 2018. I looked; it was 2017.
17. Yep.
So I'm knocking on wood here, folks, just to not
Exactly.
curse anything.
Get some of that too.
Um, and then Gross Matos is a 5, 6 sack a season guy, similar to what Amenahu was, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
And he can switch to the inside and pass rush from the
Mm-hmm.
inside. So we're going back to what we did in 2022. In 2023 we actually kept 5 interior linemen.
Yeah.
And I think this had a lot to do with Armstead and his plantar fasciitis, the issues that he had. This season, I honestly believe we're going to be keeping 5 edges, maybe
Mm.
4 interior linemen, right?
I can see that.
And we don't know who the fourth interior lineman is going to be, though. Kalia Davis could step up and take the starting job from
Could.
the veterans. Um, that guy, Evan Anderson, the undrafted free agent.
Yep.
But honestly, I look at him like he might be more of a project because he was a Division II guy,
Yeah.
right?
So you can easily see him going to the practice squad because there is potential
Yep.
there. But and they love to stash guys on the practice squad and work with them. So we can see that happening.
Yes, most definitely. But I mean, on the outside, I look at our top 5 edges. Like, of course, you have Bosa Floyd, Gross Matos. Robert Beal Jr. showed up in the Super Bowl in the limited time he was in. He was in that backfield.
He was.
And, huh?
I say he was. Robert Bill Jr. was out there. Yeah.
He
He was in
really,
that backfield. Yeah.
He was. I don't think they played him enough snaps. Myself, they were
No.
too busy putting Chase Young in there for some reason. But and then we have the fifth guy who I think's going to be Drake Jackson. It's kind of yet to be seen. This is do it or don't do it year for him though. This
Yeah,
is it,
most definitely.
right?
You guys are hilarious with the reach. Shout out to Kenny. But Kenny says he's calling it. Robert Bill Jr. take over. Drake Jackson if healthy. Um, I I can see this happening. They both have potential, and as David just said, in the Super Bowl, the biggest game of them all, Bill Jr. was getting pressure. He was doing his thing. Now imagine another all good offseason under his belt to work with these guys, and he could put that pressure together to actually getting home, to getting to the quarterback. That can be huge. And think about the rush line package that they could possibly put together with maybe Bill Jr., Floyd, Bosa, and maybe a Hargrave all on the field at the same time, or Gross Matos, or right? Their speed
Mm-hmm.
and get off, and you can get to the quarterback quickly. He's not going to have time to throw. That could create a huge problem for offenses. So it's going to be interesting.
It really is. I like our new D line group. I
Yeah,
honestly believe they're deeper. We're deeper this year than we
yeah,
were last year,
almost definitely.
and should be more productive this
Hmm.
year than we were last year.
Yeah, I agree totally. That was a huge problem for me. For what I looked back and thought about last year compared to years prior. Just the depth and the quality of the depth on the defensive line just wasn't what it was, in previous years. And a lot of it is due to injury and guys going down, and they tried to address it in free agency and trades, but it just wasn't the same. It just wasn't what it needed to be. So I think that's why they made the moves they made this offseason. Refill the cupboards, rebuild that depth, get quality depth, not just some guys that fill out a roster, fill out a jersey, quality depth, and really retool this thing. So the D line is going to be very exciting.
Most definitely.
Yeah, yeah, we know
I,
Rob.
I, I'm reading the. I'm reading Rob. That episode
Yeah,
had me dying too.
yeah, that was a good episode.
I
Good
was
Kenny put
watching
on a
it. I
good
was
show.
watching.
Shout out to Kenny. Okay, it was a fun show. Indeed, it was. Oh, all right, give me another group that you're interested in.
Wide receiver.
Oh, really? Now, explain that one.
Well, we got our fourth offensive option isn't signed yet, so we do still have Ayuk under contract for a year though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm totally trolling him because he shouldn't have said that.
Uh huh.
Um, and then we got Debo, of course, Jennings, right?
Right.
Ricky Purcell is still. Well, they put him on the injury list, but there's no news on what. I think it could potentially be a personal matter,
Yeah.
right?
Could be.
So we'll probably more than likely see him in camp this week. I'm thinking if that's the case, but we'll see how it all works out.
Yeah.
But then you have Jacob Cowing, you have Danny Gray, who looked better than he did in years past in the limited time he's had, in OTAs. Then you have Ronnie Bell Jr. or Ronnie Bell.
Ronnie Bell. Yeah.
Well, who's that one guy? Oh, Trent Taylor. Then
I know. I keep forgetting we re-signed him. Yeah.
I know. I honestly believe he's a camp body. Could potentially end up on the practice squad, right?
Yeah.
And well, like Conley. Conley could end up on the practice squad too. He's
Yeah.
also in this group.
Yeah.
Um, I've heard some people make some hot takes and say that Tariq Owens is going to make the roster.
To me, he has an uphill battle. I can see them putting him on the practice squad for sure. But to me, with
He,
so many, with all, look at all the names you just mentioned in this list, and he's like at the bottom of that list, trying to work his
yeah,
way up. That's a huge uphill climb for him. So I don't
he
know.
would have to show up and show out, like kind of similar to Ronnie Bell last year in the preseason, but less drops. You know,
Yeah,
um, and Ronnie Bell. You never know what's going to happen here. I mean, are we going to keep 7 wide receivers? I highly doubt it.
nope.
So it's like, the first 5 guys, I kind of look like they're kind of cemented because 3 of them, well, not I needs to sign his extension. Yes,
Yeah,
is he worth 30 million a year? Hmm,
yeah.
I I think 28 and a half. Yeah,
I like that number as
that
well.
extra mil and a half though. I don't know about that.
Yeah,
Right, but and then Debo and Jennings, the top 3 is set.
correct.
The backups, we got the 2 rookies. They're going to get the benefit. So that's 5. So are we going to keep 6? We're going to have Ronnie Bell and Danny Gray, Trent Taylor, Conley, Tariq Owens all battling out for one spot.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah,
So that ought to be it ought to be a very interesting camp battle to keep an eye on there.
mm-hmm.
You know, um,
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Once you get past, the top guys, and I'll say the top four we know, we'll include Ayuk there, and we'll throw Ricky Pearsall in there. He was the first overall pick. So he's definitely there. But once you get past them, it's like a huge question mark as to who's going to be that next guy and then the next guy, right? And we know they love to stash like a veteran or two on the practice squad, like a Chris Conley. They did it with Willie Snead for 2 seasons. So that could be Trent Taylor now. Stash him on the practice squad just in case of injury or something. They can bring him up. Um, but with so many intriguing young guys that you mentioned, is there even room to stash him? Because you got all these like promising young guys there that can help out. And we didn't even mention Jacob Cowing and the speed element and the return element that he brings to the table.
mm-hmm.
So I can definitely see that happening. That's going to be fun to watch as well. I'm sure we'll hear a lot of reports of, oh, this guy dropped the ball and this guy he got open by 5 yards and all this other stuff. And, Danny Gray was seen fielding punts or something like that. We know how these camp reports go. As soon as a guy does one little thing, it's got to be reported and talked about and overanalyzed. So that's a good one. I'm once again going to go on the opposite end. We're kind of doing like an offense defense thing here because I'm really intrigued with the defensive backs, right? Because
Oh yeah,
we know who the top 2 are. It's Lenord and Ward. But then who's going to be that third defensive back? Is it going to be the rookie, Ronaldo Green, who they just brought in? Or is it in Isaac Yedem or Rocky Sin, who they brought in as free agents? Then we have Darrell Luter Jr. and Samuel Womack, who's in their second and third seasons, I believe, in the
hey,
league
hey
here.
you're forgetting the guy. You're forgetting the guy that I thought wasn't going to make the roster last year.
Who's that?
Ambry Thomas.
Ambry. Oh, man. There's a reason why I forgot him. There's a reason why. No, Ambry Thomas can play some good football. It's just that he's just wildly inconsistent. Like 1 week he looks real good, and then the next 2 weeks he'll look real bad. And you're like, why is he out there? Right? He clearly can't get it done. Put someone else out there. And that's been his story, except for that first season where he just got better and better. And I don't know what the heck happened then that he can't recapture that magic. But it's like, hey, at some point we got to move on. So,
Well,
yeah. What are you gonna say?
maybe Ambry needs that Josh Norman type to show him what not to do.
Yeah, that's what they should do. Put on film a Josh Norman and say, "Don't be that guy. Don't do that." Reaching and grabbing and doing all this stuff. Don't do that. But yeah, but I'm looking to see how, like, from the rookie mini camp, everyone said Pierce Hall looked great and he was doing good things and, looks like a polished route runner and receiver. Cool. But let's see him go up against, Charvarius Ward, Diamondor Lenore. How does he look then? How does he look when he has to cross the middle and Fred Warner sitting there? That's a whole different type of practice, right? It's a whole different thing. So I want to see how these guys step up now when they're facing, the number one defense, when they're facing the top dogs. So it's really intriguing
That's
to
the
me.
truth. Hey, don't forget the safeties. You
And of
know,
course, the safeties I'm going to be looking at just straight off the bat. Who's going to be the other starting safety opposite Jair Brown?
well, it's the reports on Hufunga are pretty much saying he's going to be back, but to what capacity
That's the
and
thing.
when?
That's the thing. That's the thing. These guys. Here's the thing. All right, and I don't want to talk about this, but there's a report coming out now that when Brock Purdy came back to start the season, he wasn't 100% healthy. Well, that happens across football. That happens to a lot of guys. They'll come back from injury, and to start the season, they're not 100%. They're 65, 70, 75, whatever number they put on it. They are not fully healthy. But they kind of play their way into it, get themselves going. It takes a few weeks. We know guys do that. But coming off an ACL, where you're constantly having to run all over the field and hit people and starting and stopping, and you're getting hit in your legs too. Like, imagine him coming down into the box, having to deal with the line around the linebackers and the linemen and such. He's getting hit.
Holy.
That's a whole different thing. Like, can you really play your way into that when you're trying to build up leg strength and structural integrity and all that good stuff? To me, that's different. In ACLs, it normally takes a full 12 months to return. The only people I've seen do it faster are Adrian Peterson and Jerry Rice. And we're talking about two freaks of nature athletically when it comes to those guys, right? We were talking about, Jerry Rice, the best ever, and Adrian Peterson, a easy 2,000-yard rusher. Like, yeah, they're a different category. So for him to be able to come back week one would be great, but at what capacity? And is that capacity going to be detrimental to us on the back end? That's what kind of scares me.
Well, I don't want to see him rushed back either.
And that's another big thing because we know that just leads to more injury.
Yes, yes, it does. We do have Mustafa. We got
Mm-hmm.
Odom, but he's the special teams ace.
Right.
He's not.
That's his role.
He's not going to be getting a lot of reps out there with the defense.
Yep.
What we got? Taylor Hawkins, right? The
Taylor
the, the
Hawkins.
rookie from last year. So it kind of seems like we're going with internal candidates. That there was some. I think it's smoke and mirrors though about Simmons, the safety that was with the Broncos last
Oh
year, is
yeah.
really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
There were some people saying, "Oh, bring this guy in. Let's bring."
Right.
Well, and then when Huff comes back, what happens, folks?
Yeah. Then we just got an extra guy on the bench, and who do we then clear or send to the practice
Who
squad
do
to
we
make
cut
room
to
for
keep
him?
him?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Do we cut a rookie that still has 4 years
Darwin.
on a rookie deal? No,
Yeah.
I really don't think we do. Oh, so Amber going to be on Dr. Phil. That actually made me look up Dr. Phil's salary. Did you know that he makes more than Patrick Mahomes?
What? Are you serious? Are you
According to this,
serious?
he brings in 95 million a year.
What? I knew he was making some bank being on TV as long as he has and having all these shows, but that much?
That's
Wow.
insane. That's
Wow.
insane. I mean, wow.
We're in the wrong business.
Uh, that's that,
You know what?
that's a fact right there.
I
Yes.
might I might have to start 49er faithful therapy or something to get this going. That's insane. Wow. Hey, more power to him. I would have never thought. Whew.
I know. I know. I looked at that. I had to double check it. I was like,
Yeah.
no way. Oh wow. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Um. So the next group that I find interesting. I mean, there's the tight ends. You have George Kittle.
Yep.
You have the veteran Logan Thomas.
Yep.
Then we have Cameron Latou coming back from apparently a catastrophic knee injury
Yeah.
that we didn't know was
That no
catastrophic
one knew
until
about. Right.
earlier this year, right?
So,
Um, Jordan Willis, though, he's looking pretty good,
yep.
right? And then we have what Mason Pline, the rookie,
Yeah.
right? The undrafted free agent.
Undrafted Ricky. Yep.
I mean, when it comes to tight end, we're pretty much set in stone with those top two veterans, unless
I
Jordan
think so.
Willis can bump Logan Thomas into the third string,
Yeah. That's the
which
only thing.
I would hope to see that happen. Honestly, I
I do
really
too.
hope to see that happen.
I do too. Um, I'm hoping he steps up because I like his game. I think he's a great blocker and can do some things when he catches and runs with the ball. And I can see him. I can see him being like a Delaney Walker type. We used to use Delaney Walker all over the field and have him play like a kind of a pseudo fullback role and do some different things. I think he can be that. And if he can, kind of step in and complement George here and there, I think it'd be really good for us offensively. So he's a guy I'm taking a look at as well. Kenny saying
And
Mustafa's probably playing a little linebacker and safety. Can also play corner. I can see Mustafa being down in the box, being that just box safety. You know, adding some thump down there because we know he can hit. So he's one to keep an eye on in camp. Like I love these rookies. I'm really going to be focused on them. Hey, what's up, Jason? Thanks for coming through.
there's the captain. Got
That's
the.
right.
I'd say he's got the best hat in the business, but he gave one to TJ.
Oh,
So
really?
now he's got a first mate. TJ don't have
Yep,
to
exactly.
swab the decks
Yeah.
anymore. He's been promoted. So um, the running backs, Ty. What do you think of that? What do you think of this mess? Well, you have CMC, so it's that's set.
That's
But
it.
behind him,
Behind him is just a big old question
Elijah
mark.
Mitchell, who
What are you
who
gonna
has
do?
a history of not staying healthy,
Yep.
um, and didn't look good in the OTAs he showed up for this year. If that
Mm-hmm.
continues, he won't be on the team. You have Jordan Mason, who honestly has an average of 5.6 yards a carry. I would like to see more of this young man.
All he does
Um,
is fall forward, right? That's
that's
all he
exactly
does.
it.
That's all he does. But he can't get on the field. For some reason, they won't use him. So he's a
And
head
I don't
scratcher.
get it. I think Kyle's like he can't block. Well, coach him up. You have coaches, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. That's what the coaches
Um,
are there for. That's what they get paid for. And
Exactly.
we know, wait, time out. But aside from that, we know that Kyle Shanahan likes to like go to bully ball and just pound the rock, especially at the end of the games. If we're up, he's trying to milk clock, do whatever he does. You know, CMC's taking a beating. You got this young 200 plus pound back that all he does is fall forward. Put him in there to tote the rock. You're not worrying about blocking. Just put him in there to tote the rock. Why can't you do that? That's the head scratcher.
And he's a bruiser. You know, he's the type of guy like
Dion, what's up, brother?
CMC. Yeah, well, what's up, Dion? It's good, buddy. But he's a bruiser. Bring him in early in the game,
Yeah,
bruise up the defense, sprinkle in some, of course you got to start CMC, but
yeah,
sprinkle in some CMC starting later in the defense once the defense is all bruised up. That guy will freaking just tear the league up. He'll be offensive player of the year again if they
yeah,
do that.
exactly.
But, we keep going with the running backs here. I seriously don't think Elijah Mitchell's going to be on the 53, but this is
Mm-hmm.
all we'll see, right?
Last year, this
Um,
contract, basically no money. And
mm-hmm.
remember, they drafted the rookie, Isaac Garendo.
That's the next guy I was going to bring up.
Uh-huh.
Runs a 4.33 40. He's 6'2", 221 pounds. Has kickoff and I believe punt return experience.
Yep.
So, he doesn't have to just be the running back.
Mm-hmm.
He's more than likely going to be one of the two kick guys back there on kickoff, right?
Yep.
And then, and just that
Hang
speed.
on. The speed element, right? We need that change of pace back. We haven't had one in a few years.
Matt
So,
Breida was the last guy.
yeah.
Matt. Yeah.
So you definitely need that. If we were listing it out, we know that one is definitely CMC. Who would be your RB2?
Jordan Mason.
Mason. Okay.
Yep.
I like that. Now, who
RB
would you be at
three.
three?
I'm actually gonna go with the undrafted rookie Cody Schrader.
Oh, Schrader, who they're high on, who I've heard good things, and he looks good.
Yeah,
So
he's
I
not the
got you.
fastest guy, but you don't have to
Nope.
be the fastest guy. You just have to hit the hole hard
Butchering
and
his spelling.
fall forward for 5-6 yards. I'll make Kyle happy, right?
Right. Okay.
And
And
then the
now
the
at
fourth guy is
four,
going to be Garendo.
Garendo. I'm with you there. Garendo.
Yep.
All right. To me,
And
that's
of
a real
course we
good
got
running back group.
you know,
First of all, I
yep.
like this group right here. So you got guys with versatility, change of pace. You got your bruiser. I like this group. It's just, will they be used? Will we see them
Oh,
on the field?
well, so the rookies we probably won't see much of on the field. Let's be honest. We know
Right.
how
That's
Kyle
why they're
is.
third and fourth, right? So we can say,
I mean,
not
maybe in the
much or
last
not
half of the
much.
year we'll probably see him, right?
Yeah.
Because Kyle,
Yeah.
he'll make a rookie chill out on the bench for a while and learn.
Yeah.
Once he gets to a point, he'll put the rookie in. But man, we got Don Dotson. What's going on? Good evening. Cynthia's in the
That's
house
right.
too. How's it going?
Hey, Sin. I just saw her pop in. How you doing, Sin?
But yeah, that's who I got. What other position groups are there? Let's see. QB.
QB.
I don't think there's any questions on who's going to be who there, but
I know, right? It's like QB1.
what about
Like,
kicker? I heard we signed someone to compete with Jake Moody. Where's Bryant at?
I know. Shout out to Brian Cole. We miss you, buddy.
Yeah, what we do, we miss you.
Yeah. No, but those are the real intriguing battles, though, and definitely the positions I'm going to be looking out for. Not just in the individual groups, but like I said, how they match up against guys on the other side across from them. How's this new look defensive line going to match up against our offensive line. And it's not just the starters, but the new guys that they brought in as well. How is that mix going to work? How are they all going to gel together? Um, Jason says Tanner for QB2 over the Pastronaut, Josh Dobbs.
Ooh, Tanner Mordecai.
Tanner
Now
Mordecai. Yep.
I'm giving Josh Dobbs a pass because he hasn't been in the offense long.
Mm-hmm.
Just from what we saw in the limited time that he's been in OTAs and whatnot, right? Mini camp. Um, he hasn't had much time in Kyle's offense.
Nope.
So here we are. We're about to hit camp. Hit the ground running. So in the next few weeks, we'll see if we'll see what he's about.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, though, is like Brock, he can use his legs to buy the receivers more time.
Yeah.
And if he'll win us a game or two, that's all a good backup quarterback is supposed to do, right?
That's all you need to do. Hold down the fort until the
Yep.
starter returns. That's all you need to do. Except for the case of the 2022 season where the quarterback just never returned, and then the backup got in
Yeah,
and he never returned.
yeah, we went through
that,
four guys. Yeah,
that was a
four
wild
guys.
anomaly of a season. But normally you just hold down the fort until until the starter gets back. Last season, our starting QB never missed a game, played all of them. So hopefully this is the trend moving forward. We have the guy, he's durable, he's going to keep this going. So we don't really have to worry about the backup. But I would like to see
That's
someone
true.
who you mentioned was
Now,
capable, who can use his legs and can help us out in multiple ways.
I can honestly see Tanner Mordecai beating out Brandon Allen, though.
Mm-hmm.
I could
Yeah.
see this
Oh
happening.
yeah. Oh
Just
yeah.
because, if he does as good as him, Kyle will say, you know what? Brandon Allen's a veteran. He's been in the league a long time.
Uh-huh.
But this kid, this is this is his first cup of water.
Yeah.
And he's on his level already. So he's going to be QB3 and, see where it goes. That's about the only QB battle there is to really watch is QB3 at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. That really is. Yeah. Other than that, I'm not worried about. Like, I'm not going to be looking at the quarterback position at all. Like we said, there's no controversy. This is one of those years that they can come out and be like, oh, this guy went 10 for 15 in practice, and this guy went, 7 of 11 and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to pay attention to it at all because I know we got that number one guy, and that's what counts. I'm just looking at everything else that's around him because that's what's more important,
Yep.
I think. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you got your show about to happen, don't you?
Yeah, I just noticed the time, man. This thing flew by. This was a good conversation. And I hate it when you're having such good conversation and time flies and you're like, oh, I gotta run. But the good thing is we do this every Monday at 8:15 Eastern, 5:15 Pacific. We rotate channels. So next week we'll be on wrong way, his channel. Tune in to David's channel. The link is in the description. So David, just tell the people real quick what you got going on this week so they can tune in.
Well, Wednesday it's me and Ted. We're going to be talking about camp. He's got tickets. He's going to be there.
Nice.
So and
Nice.
he's going to let me know kind of a time frame. We don't have anything set in stone time wise yet because
Mm-hmm.
we don't know how long it's going to take him to get back. But tomorrow he's going to have a good idea because it's the first day of camp and he'll be there.
Nice.
So we're going to be talking about what he saw the first 2 days, and it ought to be pretty awesome. Then, we got the Corey Davis 49er Wednesday. That's the big panel show. And, I'll be trying to sneak in some trivia here and there, but
Right.
I seriously don't. We are not getting through that 500 question, but before the season starts, it's
Yeah.
not going to happen.
Yeah. All right. Well, sounds good. Well, everybody tune in. Like I said, thanks for coming. Make sure you like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. This is the Stay Faithful podcast channel. Everybody, have a good night. David, take us home, as Corey Davis would say.
Hey, it's F all 31 other teams. Shout out to Corey. I miss him.
Shout out to Corey. Yeah. All right. See you, everybody.